scholar at the Kinney Center. So for today's video, we are going to go over some field games that we can play. So before we start the field games and seeing how we can play and different things we can do, we are going to talk about why field games can be so fun. Then we're going to talk about what we can learn from field games, and then we'll go into some of the games that we can play and the games that we are going to play today. So to start off, there are so many reasons why field games are so much fun to do and so much fun to play. The first reason is because we get to play with other people, so we get to play with our friends, our family. We can also play by ourselves if we want, but we could also play with other people, so we can have some fun and talk while we play and have each other cheer each other on. We also get to use our imagination, so sometimes we may not have all the materials we need, or we may not have enough games that we want to play, so we can start making up our own games and have some fun with that. Certain games may say that you need certain things and specific things to do, but what's so fun is also that we can use different things around the house, so we aren't limited to a certain amount of things, especially with the games that we're going to play today. You can use different things around your house, such as different size balls or different cones that you can do instead of a normal cone that you might use. There are so many things that we can also learn from playing field games. One of the things that we can learn is paying attention. So it's so important that we are playing field games. There's so many different games going on at the same time, and we may have a lot of people playing at the same time with us. So it's important to make sure that when we are kicking the soccer ball around or when we're gently throwing the ball, that we're able to make sure that no one's in our sight when we are about to throw it, so we won't hurt anyone in any way. Also, we can learn how to play gently. So we'll learn how that we can throw the ball gently and how we can kick the ball gently, so that way no one gets hurt when we are playing these games, and people will still want to play with us more and more once the games end. Another thing that we can learn is sportsmanship. So we can work to cheer people on, say nice job, awesome job kicking the soccer ball, or if they didn't get as many cones down as they wanted to, tell them that it's okay and that they can try again next time to get more cones down, but they still did great. Something else that we learn is creativity. So because we may not have all the necessary materials, we still learn how to be creative and how to come up with different ways that we can play the game so that we can still play the game even though we don't necessarily have all the materials that they say we need. One of the last things that we are also going to learn is perseverance. So perseverance is a tricky word, but basically what perseverance is that even though we may try very hard on getting to a certain point system or dribbling as hard and as fast as we can, it's okay if we don't get there in time or we don't necessarily get what we want as the goal, because perseverance means that we are able to encourage ourselves to keep going and to try again even if we don't get what we want on the first try. There are so many different kinds of field games that we can play. But the first that we're going to focus on today are can toss, dribbling races, and bag toss. So the first game that we'll be playing is can toss. So for can toss, what we're going to need are 3 cans, but if you don't have cans, that's okay, because again, we can be creative and come up with our own things. So for instance, I don't have cans, so what I'm going to use are some plastic cups, because remember, it is important to also be safe with what we are playing with. You will also need a ball to work to throw the cans down, or the cups, or whatever you're going to use. This ball needs to be soft and gentle so we don't hurt anyone when we are tossing it gently. So for instance, I'm going to use a small ball that I have, but if you want to use a gentle tennis ball or maybe a little soccer ball, you can also use that. The next game that we're going to play is dribbling races. So with dribbling races, you are going to need 2 cones or anything to represent from where you're supposed to start dribbling to where you have to end dribbling. You can also get some things, maybe a little bag or maybe a chair to put in between the cones, so when you're dribbling from one cone to the other, you can go in and out of each cone and you can work hard so that you have to work around the cone to make sure that you don't hit it. Something else that we're going to be playing is bag toss. So bag toss is so much fun. What you're going to need for bag toss is some paper plates, or you can do a napkin or anything that you can really write on, and for that you're going to need a marker too, so you can write the point system. So in the picture it shows the first plate is 10 points, then 20, then so on and so on. So we'll be doing something similar to that. You will also need bags similar to this so you can throw it and see how far you can get it so the bag lands on the plate and see how many points you get for landing on that particular plate. So now we have all the materials that we're going to need and we have an idea of how we're going to play each game. So now we can go and bring all of our materials outside so we can start playing. Hey guys! So for the first game that we're going to go over, we are going to do the bag toss game. So for that game, we're going to need 5 paper plates, or if you want, you can also use a napkin or paper towel if you want. But I'm going to use 5 paper plates, and then you also are going to need a marker so you can write the amount of points that each plate earns for how far away it is. You're also going to need 2 bags. If you want, you can use a ball, but sometimes it's easier just to use 2 bags because then it'll be heavier and it can stay down on the plate. So the first thing we're going to do to prepare for the bag toss game is we're going to write the amount of points that you can earn on each paper plate. So I'm going to do, for one, I'm going to write 10. For the second, I'm going to write 20 points. For the third, I'm going to write 30 points, so I'll write the number 30 on it. And then I will write 40. And for the last one, I'm going to write 50. The reason why we wrote the points on the paper towel or the napkin, or in my place, the paper plate, was because when we do lay it down on the grass or pavement, wherever you are gonna play, you can, wherever you throw it, you'll get that amount of points. So it'll be able to help us track how many points you earn depending on how far away you're able to throw the bag. So the next game that we are going to prepare for is the can toss game. For that game, you normally would use some cans, but I don't have any empty cans that I can use right now. So I went into my cabinet and I was able to get some red Solo cups. So I can stack those instead of the cans and I can work towards knocking those down rather than the cans. You're also going to need a ball. So with this ball, you will use it to knock down the cans. I was able to use my dog's toy ball, but you can use whatever kind of ball you want. If you have a little soccer ball or a tennis ball or a gentle baseball that you can throw, then you can use any of those as well. And the last game that we're going to prepare for is the dribbling round. So with that, normally you would have 2 cones so you know where to start dribbling and where to stop dribbling, but I wasn't able to find any cones in my garage, so instead I was able to get creative and I have 2 of these jugs, so I'm going to use these to mark where to start dribbling and where to end. I also was able to find a soccer ball, so it's a miniature soccer ball, but it'll still work just as well. And I was also able to find 2 other bags that I can use, so that way I can put them in the middle and between the 2 large water jugs, and I will be able to kind of go in and out of all of them. So as you can see, I already started laying out my bag toss game. So I laid all 5 out and you can see I have my 2 bags there. And the first cone is 10, so if I land on there, I get 10 points. If I land on the second, I get 20 points. The third, I get 30 points. The fourth one, I get 40 points. And if I make it all the way to the 5th one, I will get 50 points. So as you can see, I got 1 to land on the 20 plate and I got 1 to land on the 40 plate. So I add those together and I got 60 points for this one. So the next game that I'm going to set up is the can toss game. So with the 6 cans that I had to get, I'm going to stack them. So you'll put 3 on the bottom like that, and then 2 on top, and then your last cone on top. So the last game that I'll be doing for my field games is the dribbling one. So I put my 2 water jugs across from each other. You can put them as far away as you want. There's no specific distance. It's totally up to you. Now I will go and I will put my bags in the middle along the line so that way I can dribble in and out of them. So as you can see, I put my 2 bags right in the middle so I'm able to weave in and out of the bags until I get to the other cone. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another Kinney video. I hope you had a lot of fun doing the field games. Don't forget that you can always do it a little differently. You can come up with your own games to make it your own way, have some fun with it, because around the house there are so many different things that you can do to get creative. So I know I had so much fun with the games that I was able to come up with, and I hope you guys had an awesome time as well. Bye guys.